Hello there guys, this is Solid Shepard bringing you another video, and today we are talking about rumors about a new Nintendo Switch Pro. I'm going to call it Nintendo Switch Pro. There's no official name for it, it's just rumors, but the rumors are from Bloomberg, so they've got a little bit of legitimacy to them. So we're going to talk about it. I know it's a few days old, it's Saturday, I have time, so I figure it'd be good Saturday morning video to upload. So, it's under technology, Bloomberg. Nintendo plans Switch model with bigger Samsung OLED display. Okay? The Nintendo company plans to unveil a model of its Switch gaming console equipped with a bigger Samsung OLED display this year. Hoping the larger touchscreen can prop up demand in time for the holidays, people familiar with the plan said. I hope it's more than just a bigger screen. Samsung Display Company will start mass production of 7-inch 720p resolution OLED panels as early as June, with an initial monthly target of just under 8 million units, said the people. Who said the people? There we go, journalism. Who asked not to be identified, discussing internal matters. The displays are slated for shipment to assemblers around July, the people said. Representatives of Nintendo and Samsung Display declined to comment. So, Samsung and Nintendo official sources declined to comment, but we have an unnamed source, so once again, take it with a grain of salt. But it isn't some random tabloid site, it's Bloomberg. I mean, I know people with political affiliations, you know, Bloomberg versus, you know, Breitbart, but this isn't politics, this is video game stuff. This is their technology section. They're not gonna lie and ruin their reputation over this. So it's pretty reputable. But once again, it's not officially confirmed, so there's still some grain of salts there. Nintendo seeks to sustain a Switch lineup that continues to sell well against the Xbox and PlayStation thanks to a pandemic-era breakout hits like Animal Crossing and a chip crunch that's plagued supply of rival devices, but the gadget is now into its 5th year. That's one thing, is because the Wii U did so bad, Nintendo had to kind of throw the Switch out early. So now that the new generation's here with Xbox and PlayStation, Switch is kind of behind, so they kind of have to put out something new. And there's a caveat that goes along with that we're going to be talking about, because I'm going to 2 articles in this video. Just a general talk about, it's Saturday morning. General topic, there we go, speech. Surrounding the whole next Switch thing. Anyways, continuing on this one, the gaming community has speculated online about the introduction of an OLED or organic light emitting diode screen, but Nintendo has stayed mum, and President Shuntaro Furukawa said in February his company has no plans to announce a new Switch anytime soon. Of course they're going to say that. It's Nintendo. Can't trust Nintendo execs. Love their games, love their products. You can't trust the execs. The business side of Nintendo is kind of cutthroat. Samsung's involvement is the strongest indication that Nintendo is serious about updating the console, and on a large scale. You know, side tangent here, this isn't really a big part of the video, just a thought that literally just popped in my head. I almost wonder if Nintendo, like, you know how they have Joy-Cons, like you can replace Joy-Cons? Maybe they're just going to sell a screen, like an updated screen, tablet, that that the controllers connect to and that you put in the dock. Like, instead of like getting, because that would drive price down too, right, for updated tech, like hardware. Like, maybe, like, it's not gonna come with Joy-Cons or the dock or any of that, it's just the tablet part. So it's like upgrading your Switch. Interesting to think about. Shares of the Kyoto-based games marker fell off 3.6. Oh, that's another thing, I think. Okay, yeah. What Bloomberg Intelligence says, the release of a more premium version of the Nintendo Switch console with an OLED display and support for 4K graphics for the holiday of 2021 selling season could drive the company's sales above consensus for the fiscal year ending March 2022 and extend the life cycle of the Switch platform for many more years. So it helps them with their stocks, and it helps, hopefully, Nintendo. Now, I don't think we're going to be seeing 4K in handheld mode. I think that's very unlikely. In February, Nintendo raised its annual forecast after Switch helped the company to its best quarterly earnings since 2008, which I believe was around the time period of the original Wii. The games marker hopes to sustain that run in 2021 despite stiffening competition and an ebbing pandemic. Well, the pandemic's helped the video game market, it hasn't hurt it. The OLED panel will consume less battery, and okay, it's bigger, brighter, and presumably better resolution than the current one, but sure, I guess. Because somehow that equals less battery. We'll see if they can actually do that. Offers high contrast and possibly faster response time when compared to Switch's current liquid crystal display. I mean, this response time isn't really bad on the current one. Nintendo, that was said by Yoshio Tamura, co-founder of display consultancy DSCC. Nintendo decided to get rid, or go with the rigid OLED panels for the new model. The people said a cheaper but less flexible alternative to the type commonly used for high-end smartphones. The latest model will also come with 4K, ultra-high defining graphics when paired with TVs. Okay, so like when you have it in the dock, it can do 4K. That could intensify a long-standing complaint of developers who have struggled with the difference in resolution between handheld and TV modes and now face a bigger gap between the two. Yeah, here's my thing. If you're upgrading the display, the tablet, why don't you just make the tablet 1080? Why are you still... So this seems to imply the tablet's going to still be at 720, just like the current Switch is. So why don't you make the new one 1080 instead of keeping it 720? That doesn't make any... Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That sounds like a bad move to me. The deal benefits Samsung Display because market prices for so-called rigid OLED panels have been failing due to excess supply. Winning a customer like Nintendo also helps the Korean giant, an affiliate of Samsung Electronics Company, firm up production plans. Nintendo in return secures a valuable partner and supplier at a time semiconductor shortages are squeezing the supply of display-related components. The new display's resolution mirrors the current Switch and Switch Lite, but is an upgrade from Switch's 6.2-inch and Lite's 5.5-inch size. If the console's housing remains unchanged, the new Switch is likely to sport a thinner bezel. Okay, so why? Why, Nintendo? Why are you doing this? If this is real, what? You're not upgrading... Okay, look, the point of the Switch is not to be a home console. It can double as a home console, but its main allure is like console gaming on the go. So if you're not really upgrading anything when it's in portable mode, like same resolution, you're not upgrading anything other than the screen, not counting the light, I'm talking about the normal Switch. The only difference is you're increasing the size by 0.8 inches. Decimal, 8 inches, not even a whole inch, 0.8 inches. And it's the only change that's happening in handheld mode. How do you justify this? What, as a consumer, especially during the time of pandemic when money's tight, how do you consume that, or how do you justify that purchase? I'm assuming it's going to be around the same price, probably $400 or $500. You might as well just get an Xbox or PlayStation and just keep your current old Switch. Unless, which we're going to get to this next article, nice little transition here. Nintendo Switch Pro will have exclusive games, claims Insider. This comes to us from Metro Gaming. Sorry, as stuff loads in, because my computer's slow, I'm using a laptop. Nintendo Switch Pro will have exclusive games, claims Insider. And once again, this is from Metro, not Bloomberg, so it's even less reputable than the last one. Not saying anything bad about their company, it's just, it is what it is, and this is a rumor. This whole video is rumors right now, so grain of salts. Make sure to sprinkle those grain of salts on your breakfast. It's not financial advice. Okay, following yesterday's newest Switch Pro rumors, an insider is claiming that it will also have a small number of exclusive games. So what does that mean? That means you can't play these games, possibly, on your normal Switch. So you have to upgrade to play the newest games for the holiday season and beyond. Sounds kind of scummy to me, but whatever. Anyways, let's get into it. Following yesterday's newest Switch Pro rumors, and insiders claiming that it will also have a small number of exclusive games. Even though nothing has been officially announced by Nintendo, it's widely believed that the company is working on upgrading Switch model. Dubbed by fans the Switch Pro, because, the PlayStation Pro, blah blah blah. There have been constant rumors and reports on the thing, the most recent ones claiming it will feature a bigger screen, and I'm assuming this is linking us to Bloomberg or their own article covering what Bloomberg just said. Whatever, we just read that. Hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry, my hotel fan AC just turned on. I had to turn it off because that would be annoying. So anyways, in the wake of yesterday's industry, Nate Drake, who recently said that Bethesda is aiming to release Starfield by the end of 2021, oh, that's interesting, has added that, I might do a video on that one too, has added that the new model will also have its own exclusive games. No promises on this video, but I'm just saying I might. They don't elaborate on what games they might be, but suggest that there will only be a small amount of them. They claim to know of at least one, and will primarily come from third parties. So, hold on. My computer's moving so slow right now. They don't elaborate. Okay, I want to read this again. They don't elaborate on what games that might be, but suggest that there will only be a small amount of them. Okay, there'll only be a small amount. They claim to know of at least one. I wonder if this one is Breath of the Wild 2. Remember when they first originally sold the Switch? It was it was a Zelda machine, because Breath of the Wild was like the only big game out at the time for it. Wonder if they're gonna do the same thing with Breath of the Wild 2. Okay, Nintendo. Okay. Nintendo, are you listening? Sit down, Nintendo. Are you listening? If you didn't announce or celebrate the Zelda anniversary when it was Zelda's birthday, instead, you continue to celebrate Mario. Like, I understand the Mario celebration was delayed. I get it. But you're still celebrating Mario, and then you celebrate Pokemon instead. And you don't even acknowledge on your Twitter account the Zelda birthday. Okay, Nintendo? And then you come out and announce this new expensive Switch Pro and say, hey, if you want to play the new Zelda game, you gotta buy the new console. People are gonna be pissed. Don't do that, Nintendo. Do not do that. Oh God, don't do it. Please, do not do that. For the love of God. It would make a lot of sense for this to be true. Firstly, exclusive games would help sell the system to those who already own a Switch. Yeah, because the new Switch, guess what? Doesn't sound like it offers a whole lot. 4K when in dock mode, that's it. That sounds like basically... Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's going to have better tech in it. It'll be more powerful. We'll see. We haven't heard, as far as I've seen, I haven't seen anything on that yet. Secondly, Nintendo did this before with its new Nintendo 3DS, the upgraded 3DS model. Yeah, but the 3DS was a lot cheaper than this is going to be. Like, Joy-Cons cost you what, like 60, 70, 80 bucks? Just the Joy-Cons. We're not talking about the dock, the tablet, which is like 90% of the cost. Aside from having extra processing power and improved 3D functionality in it, it had its own lineup of games that could only be played on the newer hardware. Yeah, but the only real reason it could only be played on the newer hardware is because the 3DS had that extra little nub on it that could function as a second analog stick. And a lot of games required that. Like, you can't play them without that second analog stick. That's why. Like, at least that made sense. It didn't come off as scummy. Like, the developers made the game around that second analog. In order for that to make sense on the Switch, you're going to have to add some kind of controller functionality or something that is exclusive to the Switch Pro. Otherwise, it just comes across as a scummy business practice. Or just make a new console. Make it a new thing. It is not the Switch. It is something new. Which is going to still piss people off because they're going to be like, I just bought a Switch not that long ago. Switch hasn't been out that long. You see, Nintendo's kind of backed themselves in a corner here, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. Don't get me wrong, I'm kind of excited for the idea of one, but like still at the same time, you're going to be pissing a lot of people off. It wasn't a particularly long list, only comprising of 7 games like Minecraft, new Nintendo 3DS edition, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, and one of them, Dragon Fang Z Ryushu Rose. Sorry, my thing's not responding. Only released in Japan. You can probably see a little loading on my mouse. So anyone who's stuck with the original 3DS model wasn't necessarily missing out on a much. On a much. Do the little Mario voice there. But it's a strategy Nintendo could very well replicate. With another report stating that several third-party games are developing 4K games for the Switch, there's a countless number of potential games that could be released on a hypothetical Switch Pro. Common fan requests include Final Fantasy VII Remake, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Persona 5. It's going to have to get a lot more powerful to be able to handle Red Dead Redemption 2. Really, Final Fantasy VII Remake also. Like, this console's going to have to be way more powerful than the Switch is right now, the normal Switch, in order to handle those games. We'll see. If it is that much more powerful, then I think it's worth it. It'd be worth buying it again, and I'd understand. But it would have to be that much. It would have to be like the next another generation up from where it is right now. It's still unlikely the Switch Pro would be powerful enough to run something like Red Dead Redemption 2, like I just said. Really, Final Fantasy VII Remake also. Like, I don't know, man. But Nintendo has already been testing the waters with streaming via high-profile games such as Control and Hitman 3. Well, and really, Final Fantasy VII Remake is still a PlayStation exclusive right now. It hasn't even come out to PC or Xbox yet, so I don't know like if Nintendo's going to be able to swing that one. From that standpoint as well. And that looks like it's it. So yeah, my thoughts on it, it's going to have to be like a new console worth of power if they want people to buy into this, really. And there still will be a group of people who will be mad about that because like they just bought a Switch like a year or two ago. You know, Switch ain't that old yet. And if it's not that much more powerful and it just has a little bit more processing power and a 0.8 inches bigger screen, like if that's it, and they're like, and you're only going to be able to play Breath of the Wild 2 on this one, not the one you have right now, that'll make a lot of people angry. That is not a good move, Nintendo. Do not do that. You're winning right now with the Switch. The Switch is a beloved console. Don't ruin it like you did between the Wii and the Wii U. Don't ruin it, okay? Don't do that. It's my advice, Nintendo. Don't do that. Anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on it. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comment section below with a like and a comment. Let me know what you think. I said that weird. I know I messed it up, but I'm running with it anyways. And if you're liking my content, please consider subscribing. As always, this has been Solid Shepard. Until next time, I should go.